In this video, I'm going to give you the energy, the power and everything to start advocating for yourself. Start speaking up for yourself and stop questioning yourself and wondering if you should set that boundary, wondering if you should go on that path or say something. This is going to make you go, I'm going to do it. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. And on this channel, I love to encourage you to be who you are authentically. I love to motivate you and just to be your little virtual cheerleader and remind you that even if you're scared, you got to do it anyway. So when it comes to speaking up for yourself, it can be one of the most scariest things. There could be a situation where you feel like someone's walking all over you and you're scared to say something because you don't want to rock the boat. And I completely get it. I've been there. I've been in situations before where I've gone, I can't say anything because this will make this situation really awkward. So what do? I stay silent. I don't say anything. I don't speak up for myself. And I end up thinking to myself, why did I do that? And you end up putting yourself smaller. You make yourself a lot smaller just because you can be chewable, right? What's the word? Basically what I mean by that is sometimes we like to make ourselves so small so that we're easy to easy to digest, but realistically you should let that person choke. Because if making yourself smaller is what's going to make that person feel more comfortable or going to make them like you or going to make them, be happy, then that's not the person or the situation for you. And I can tell you now, I have been in so many situations where, again, like I said before, I've just stayed silent and I've not said anything. And it can be incredibly awkward when you start standing up for yourself and people can distance themselves from you. People can say you're scary or you've changed, and when someone says you've changed because you refuse to stay small, I would take that as a compliment. That is the biggest compliment they can give you of the year, because if you are standing up for yourself and refusing to let people make you feel uncomfortable, then that is a praiseworthy situation. I don't want you to stay small anymore. I don't want you to feel like you can't speak up because it's going to make someone feel uncomfortable. I don't want that for you. I want you to see a situation and go, that doesn't sit right with me, and say something. So for example, it could be that you don't trust yourself, right? So sometimes we hear something and we think, surely not. Surely that person didn't say that. Like, you could be at a dinner table or out with your friends or out with a group of people, and all of a sudden someone tries to put you down in public. Someone tries to make a joke of you and say, ha ha ha, I can't believe you did that. And it's like, did I hear that right? Are they putting me down in front of other people? And it's not like, sometimes people make it like really like, oh, I can't believe you did that, like silly you, like playful, right? It's like targeted. Like, in your gut that isn't done because they're like trying to make a joke with you. They're laughing at your own expense. And I don't want that for you. I also believe sometimes, and this has been me in the past, oh, lovely little scratch there, don't know where that came from. I've had an example before where I had a previous friend, and this is when I noticed what this friend was like. Like, I noticed that what they were doing from this point on, which is why they're not my friend anymore. But I've had it where I've been sat in my car and this said friend has a different style. They're very much out there. They like to wear really out there patterns, like I think it was like Vivian Westwood or something. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but it was just like a little bit more, I would say, just not my vibe, right? Not my vibe. And they knew that about me. They knew it wasn't my vibe. And, there's nothing wrong with having difference in fashion. Like, if we all dressed the same, the world would be boring. However, I remember that I was sat in the car and there was someone with us. So that friend was in the back, and then this said person who was with us was next to me. And we were all just driving along. And literally, this friend who was trying to call me out or like trying to make me look like an idiot, basically was like, oh, Charlie, like, what do you think of my top? And I was like, it's not for me, but if it's your vibe. And then they proceeded, and this is again putting you down in front of people, and then they proceeded to turn around and say, do you know what the worst thing about being friends with Charlie is? And I can't even remember the rest of it, but I just remember at that point I was like, I am not going to be friends with this person. Anyone that puts me down in front of people is not my kind of person. Anyone that makes me feel embarrassed like that, on purpose is not my kind of person. And that person knew exactly what they were doing. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing. And that's what I mean. Sometimes it takes you to open your eyes and be like, wow, like, this person isn't for me. And what the hell are they doing? And why are they acting this way? And you could rack your brain for ages trying to figure out why that person's acting that way. And you might never figure it out. You might have just come to the conclusion where you've grown apart, but B, you've realised that what the hell is going on? This is who this person was, and I'm seeing it. And the thing is, I don't know about you, but once you see something that you don't like, you can't unsee it. I'm very much the type of person, I feel like this is everyone. Once you get a dislike for someone, anything they're going to do is going to fuck you off. Like, you could have been friends with this person for years and years and years, and, you know, the apple of your eye or whatever, or your partner, but once they do that one thing, and you've noticed it, and part of you was already done with them, you ain't going to tolerate anything they're going to do. Any little thing they're going to do is going to piss you right off. So I was very much, again, towards the end of the friendship, and I was like, oh, hell no. So I just basically ended the friendship. I was like, no. And this was years ago, so I just remember calling them out about stuff, and I was like, no. And again, it's like, you can't be around people that are going to make you feel this small. Like, you just, if you want to grow and become your best version of yourself, I personally can't be around people like that. Like, that makes me feel so uncomfortable. And I've got to the point in my life where I refuse to make myself smaller to make you feel bigger. Because let's be honest, when someone makes you feel uncomfortable by what they're doing, and you know yourself they're doing it, like, obviously you can tell the difference. Like, it's about trusting your instincts, right? You can always tell the difference when someone is chatting to you and unintentionally says something, or they're chatting to you and they're doing it intentional. Like, you can just always tell. Like, your gut will feel off. Like, honestly, pay attention. Like, pay the hell attention. Listen the hell up. Like, pay attention, honestly. And when they're doing that, by you refusing to call them out or say something, they are becoming the bigger person. So basically, this is you two, right? This is you. Hello. And this is the person, right? They're coming at you being a dickhead. Let's be honest, there's no other way about it. Being a dickhead. And by them doing that, they're basically pushing you smaller. And by you not speaking up, they're going like massive, right? Because you refuse to speak up and you stay small. But the thing is, this is a great analogy, but the thing is, by you staying this small, they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And in your eyes, you know, you can't speak up because they're just bigger than you. You know, they're superior to you in some way because you fear the repercussions. You fear speaking up for yourself. Whereas actually, by them putting you down like that, making you feel small, first of all, that's a red flag. Second of all, the fact that they do that and they know what they're doing, that is just really, really cruel. Any of my friends, and this is stuff because I've learned to speak up for myself and advocate for myself, because I've been in situations where I've had to learn to speak up for myself. And don't get me wrong, I have definitely gone in that spiral of, I can't say anything, I'm going to upset someone, I'm going to make them feel awkward, I'm going to make them feel embarrassed, I'm going to draw attention to something, so I'm just going to internalise it. And then I get scared, and I have been in situations before where I've got scared and not said anything. But I've also, as time's gone on, as I've learnt things, I have been put in situations where I have, you know, someone's come at me or whatever, and they've purposely, intentionally tried to make me feel small, and I will have my own back for myself. Because I'm like, if you don't advocate for yourself, no one else will. If you don't speak up for yourself, no one else will. I mean, apart from me, like, I have friends that if I see that I'm with my friend and if I see someone acting out of line with them, you best believe I'm not having that. And why? Why am I not having that? Because I've been that person in that position, and I know how horrible it is. I know how uncomfortable it makes me feel, and I'm not having that for my friend. So I know I'm going off on a tangent, I'm saying loads of random things here, but when it comes to speaking up for yourself and you never do it, it's very natural, first of all, for you to question yourself, to go, should I do this? Am I overreacting? Am I interpreting this wrong? Take a step back and think about it, like, calm yourself down, but don't question yourself in the sense of, like, gaslight yourself to think this hasn't happened. Like, if you genuinely believe that someone is talking down to you or someone is trying to make you feel small and you need to say something, then absolutely. And I'm not saying, I don't believe, like, speaking up for yourself, like, shouting. I think the first person who shouts, raises their voice, has lost the disagreement, right? I think it's you and that person against the problem. So it's about keeping yourself calm and mellow. And no matter if that person escalates, you stay down here. Because the thing is, no, do you know what? You stay up here. Because the thing is, the person starts shouting or getting aggravated, they're only wanting to do it because they're getting annoyed, obviously, naturally, but they're wanting to bring you down. But also what I don't want you to get in the kind of confusion of is someone is entitled, first of all, to get annoyed, get frustrated. Absolutely, their feelings are valid. But does that mean you have to tolerate the disrespect of them shouting at you? No, you do not. You can honour someone's feelings without them disrespecting you. So, in my opinion, when it comes to someone getting annoyed at you, if they're feeling that they're raising their voice or getting annoyed, they need to take themselves away and give themselves a 5 minute. 5 minutes, go on the naughty step, whatever. It's not your responsibility to be shouted at. So that could be another reason why you don't advocate for yourself, because you could have been in situations where you've tried to speak up and you've got pushed away, bombarded with guilt, or they've made you feel bad, manipulated you, or simply they could have shouted at you and it makes you shut down. But do not let that be the reason that you start shutting down again and in the future. I want you to take the bull by the horns. I want you to advocate for yourself and speak up for yourself. And even if you get that feeling of, I can't do this, and you get it in your chest, right? You get it tight in your chest. I know I've had it tightly in my chest and gone, no, and you panic, do it. Do it cool, calm and collected. When you're nice and calm, address the situation. Address it then. And try and keep your cool. If you feel like you're losing your cool or anything like that, take yourself away. You're entitled to do that. Don't feel like you have to stay there and be triggered further and then revisit the conversation. That's not going to go anywhere if you get mad at each other. So again, if you feel it in your body that you don't want to do it and you feel like reactive, that is natural. But by you doing that and by you overcoming that, you're overcoming a barrier, you're overcoming an obstacle, and you're going to grow. So in that situation, for example, when I never used to speak up for myself, the way I would go through it is something would come up for me. So let's take that example. That friend would speak about me like that in front of other people, disrespecting me. That didn't sit well with me. I noticed a pattern. I noticed roughly, but that confirmed my thought process of the pattern. And then I called them out on their behaviour. And I left it there. And that was years ago, and since then that's one of the stories I can remember. But I absolutely, even like now, I would have felt a barrier, a blockage to speak up, because again, I was scared how they're going to react. I was scared how they were going to feel. I was scared, what would come up. And the one thing I will say to you is, your feelings are your responsibility. Their feelings are their responsibility. It's not up to you to make them feel good. It's up to you to honour your needs and express them. And as long as you're doing it respectfully and trying to stay as calm as possible, there's nothing wrong with that. By you expressing and be honest about your needs, that is important. That is your right. You're absolutely within your right to do that. And anyone that makes you feel differently, that is a them problem. And they need to learn and grow up and be more mature. I have friends. So a good example of when my friend has been in a situation where someone's disrespected them and how I felt inside and what I've done is, because that's the thing, when you've never advocated for yourself, you learn to advocate for other people as much as yourself. So you see what you went through, and this video is all over the place, and I can appreciate that. I've had some sugar. But you see how people treated you. So then you refuse to not advocate for yourself, but then you also see people that are the previous version of you, so you might decide to speak up. So in this situation, it was Christmas last year because there was a cheese stand. So that's how I remember it was Christmas. Me and my friend were going for a nice cute little day date with each other. We were going around Primani, typical girls' day. And we went to a cheese stand. And when we got to this cheese stand, there was obviously a load of selection of cheese. And my friend is the sweetest little soul you will ever meet. Never harm anyone, never kill a fly. Like, they killed some ants and they were like, no, because I remember saying I killed ants and I felt bad, and because we had an infestation of ants, and they were like, I even had to get to that point, and I was like, I don't blame you. So to put it in perspective, they will not cause any harm. Like, they are so soft-hearted. And again, that's beautiful, right? Don't let anyone take your soft heart and make that seem like a bad thing or a weakness. It's a beautiful thing. So anyway, now I'm like, oh my God, am I going to get ant police at me? So anyway, We were at the cheese stand and there was this guy there and he was selling cheese, of course. And then she was like, do you have this flavour? And he was like, well, it's a cheese stand, you know? And I was like, at that point, I thought he is being a dick. Absolutely. It's the way he said it. It's what he said. I was like thinking, don't make her look stupid. I saw it straight away. And I just went, and this is how I handled it, right? Because again, I'm not going to raise my voice, but I'm also not going to make you let my friend feel like she's stupid. So I literally went, well, that's what you're here for, right? You're here for us to tell about all the cheeses. Like, we don't know what we'll do. We don't know what cheeses are here. So that's why it's great that you're here to help us. Back down immediately. Back the hell down immediately and helped us with cheese. So this is what I mean. You don't have to feel this small when someone is coming at you. It's about getting used to advocating for yourself. It's about getting used to speaking up for yourself. And it could be the tiniest of things. And do you know what? The one thing I find that I do with my friends is if they disagree with me, that's cool. Like, talk to me about it. That's fine. Practice on me disagreeing with me. Like, if you're uncomfortable disagreeing with people, but you want to learn to disagree with people, and there's something I've done you disagree with, please come to me, like, tell me, and, you know, you can practice expressing that disagreement and know that it's a safe thing to do. And anyone that doesn't make you feel safe when you're expressing how you feel and what makes you feel a certain type of way, they are not your people, and that is not okay. You don't need to feel rejected. You shouldn't feel rejected. Like, you should not feel rejected for expressing your needs. So I was like, look, if you ever have a time where you disagree with me, do it. And I always say to people as well, rather than saying with someone, I disagree with you, because I'm not dismissive. Like, it's not necessarily dismissive, but in my opinion, if you go directly with, I disagree with you, that comes across maybe a bit dismissive. So the way I do it is I reframe it. If I disagree with someone, I go, and this is how I see it differently. And I'll say my opinion. And again, you don't have to like go in, and this is the thing, when you think you disagree with someone, it feels very loaded, it feels very emotional, it feels like really, really intense, but it's actually not as big a deal as we make it in our head. So you don't even have to say to someone, if it feels intense as well, I disagree with you. You can just literally go, okay, cool, so this is how I see it differently. Because again, you're not dismissing or invalidating how they feel, you're just expressing your opinion from your point of view. And obviously when it comes to an argument, if someone is shouting at you, you walk away. You walk away. You do not deserve someone to disrespect you to that level. You do not deserve someone to shout at you. I don't care what they're going through. I don't care how hard life is. If they're coming at you aggressively and shouting at you, you say, I'm going to let you calm down and I'm walking away. I won't be a part of this. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You don't need to be someone's punching bag. Like, don't need to be someone's punching bag, honestly. And I know it's really easy to get in that mindset of they're going through a hard time. You can be empathetic of what someone's going through. Doesn't mean you have to tolerate it. Doesn't mean you have to be okay with it. And that person can understand that they're going through a hard time. If they're feeling overwhelmed and emotional, that's okay. Take yourself away and sort yourself out and come back, and then we'll have the discussion. There's no point having a discussion when one of you is heated about something else or going through something else. I'm a big believer in treating people how you want to be treated. So I wouldn't try and treat someone a way that would make me feel uncomfortable. So that's why for me, advocating for myself, advocating for the people around me is so important. And of course, those people can speak up for themselves, and it's not one of those things that I'm doing to, you know, make them feel any sort of type of way. But it might be something they haven't noticed. And I just don't tolerate disrespect. And they're very grateful for me speaking up for them and saying something. But equally, if I did speak up for them and they were like, I can do that myself, okay, hun, no problem. Like, literally no problem whatsoever. And I'm not going to get ratty about it. I'm not going to get annoyed about it, because we're all going to disagree at points and we're not all going to see things the same way. And you've got to see it like this as well. Well, we don't have to, because again, I don't like people telling me what to do, so I'm not going to tell you what to do. But the way I see it is, when it comes to people, we've all grown up in different situations. No two people are the same. I've grown up in a different situation than you've grown up. I've grown up in a different environment, a different place, maybe in a different, hopefully you're from across the world, maybe in a different country than you have. So we are going to see things completely different. Again, incredible. It would make life boring if we didn't. But sometimes it's going to mean that you're going to disagree with things. Sometimes it's going to mean that things that would make you uncomfortable, I wouldn't necessarily even notice. There'll be things that you wouldn't do that I would do. There'll be habits that I have that would piss the hell out of you. There'll be things that you would do that I'd be like, why the hell are they doing that? But it's about, you know, understanding that not every time you speak up for yourself, it has to feel like an absolute screaming match, or has to feel like a clenching in the chest that something bad's going to happen. You could simply have a conversation. That's what I mean for this. I want you to be able to advocate for yourself, speak up for yourself, but realise that even though you're getting the blockage inside, even though you're feeling like you shouldn't do it and everything against you is holding you back, that is just the old version of you trying to keep you safe. That's your nervous system trying to keep you safe because it's what's familiar. It doesn't mean it's what's good for you. And you don't have to start off massive. Again, you can just start doing it with friends, you know, that you trust. You can start, again, it's important who you surround yourself with. Because I know any friend that I have now, if I disagree with them, they're not going to bat an eyelid. They're not going to make me feel bad. If there's anything that, like a boundary I have, they're not going to make me question it, because they love me and want me to feel happy, just like it is the other way around. So first of all, it's about who you surround yourself with. But again, if you're still at the stage where you're figuring stuff out and you're just learning to just speak up for yourself, and it's just the smallest thing and you're not ready to change everything, that's okay too. But it's noticing when something doesn't sit right with you, and even though you're getting all the instincts saying don't do it, speak up for yourself. Say something. Be honest about things. Don't, because when you don't, you're just going to stay where you are. You're going to stay where you are, you're going to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to feel like you're not worthy of speaking up and using your voice. You're so worthy of speaking up and using your voice. You're so worthy of it. It's so important. If anything, it's not just important, it is essential for your own well-being. Because again, when you don't speak up for yourself, you are teaching your nervous system that you're not worthy of speaking up for. Oh, I got distracted by some scooters. God, there's so many people today. Oh my God, you think I'm in a public place. You're teaching your nervous system that doing anything that's good for you, I don't even know if I'm trying. This is what I mean. Today is all over the place. Literally, today is all over the place. But I digress. But yeah, essentially by holding back and not just going for it and doing it, you're going to stay where you are. And that means that every time you're going to do it, you're going to be putting yourself smaller, pushing yourself down, and not speaking up and expressing yourself. But if you do the opposite, even though you feel the tightening in your chest and the tension, but you start speaking up for yourself, then you just go, okay, like, I've done it. I'm scared, I'm shaking, I'm overwhelmed. But next time I do it, I might only be scared and a little bit shaking. And then after that, I might just be a bit scared. And then after that, I'll go to myself, I've done it. I can trust myself to speak up for myself, you know? I can trust my voice. I can trust my instincts. And it's just practicing. And like I say in more videos, it's not overnight. It takes time. But it's important. Because again, if you're just doing it to settle their own feelings, you're abandoning yourself. You're putting yourself second. You're making that other person feel comfortable when you deserve to say something for yourself. And again, you know, it's one of those things where that person will just take advantage of it. If they know you won't speak up for yourself, they're going to see how much they can get away with. Because again, depending on the type of person it is, if they know what they're doing, and 9 times out of 10, they know what they're doing. There could be that one person that actually generally doesn't mean to do anything and mean any harm, like my friend. But if they know what they're doing, they're going to see they got away with it. They're going to go, I got away with it. I can push Charlie around that one time. I'm going to do it again. And they'll do it again and again and again. And they'll make you go from tiny. That is not okay, and that is not someone that deserves to be around you. And the problem is, the more you push yourself down, your worth is going to be nothing. It's going to be a speck of dust, and you're going to go, I can't speak up because this happens, and this happens. And that is a really sad place to be at, and I don't want you to be there, which is why I want you to learn to advocate for yourself. And like I said, it takes time, but if you do it once, it'll get easier. And like I say about all these things, it's like a muscle. It happens. And I've done it, you know, and I'm talking from experience. And I know that, like I said, don't come at me in the comments about this video being all over the place and agreeing with me, because I already know. But from all the multiple random stories I've shared on this video, at one point I was a scared little girl. And this is that you default back to a scared little girl. What I did, I default back to a scared little girl. Like, I can't do this. It's going to cause problems. I need to protect the peace. I'd feel it in my chest. And then I'd go, no. And then, like, the kind of older version of you steps in and goes, hell no, I'm going to protect you. And that's kind of like, I feel like what healing is. Like, you become the person that you wish would have protected you in that situation. And that's such a powerful thing. So again, next time you feel scared and worried to do that, just think to yourself, okay, I'm having all these sensations, I'm having all these feelings. That's just a little scared version of me. That's okay. Give me a second, let me calm myself down. Right, I'm going to approach it. And no one should make you feel pressured in the moment. If you have to take yourself away from a situation and someone makes you feel pressured, fuck them, ignore them. But I'm taking myself for 5 minutes. If they try and go, how dare you leave this conversation? No, shut up. Like, just because you all want to be a trigger little mess doesn't mean I want to be. Like, be like, think in your head, like, yeah, I'd think in my head, fuck off, leave me alone. But I'd go, I'm taking myself away for 5 minutes. And if they try and like shout abuse at me, ignore. I'm walking away. Your words and your guilt is not going to make me stay. Shh. So walk away, calm yourself down, hype yourself up a little bit, even call a trusted friend, you know, and just go, right, let's approach this, and try and approach it. And you can't control how that conversation's going to go. That person might not react the same way. That person might just start reacting badly and proper kicking off. That would be my timeout. I'd be like, I'm tapping out. We can't talk about this when you're calmed down. Or hopefully the way they should approach it in a mature way is they'd be like, I'm really sorry you felt like that. Because again, if you're in an argument or a disagreement and someone throws it back at you and everything doesn't take any accountability, that's deflection. If you're talking about how something made you feel and they're going, yeah, well, how do you think I felt in this situation? That's deflection. They are protecting themselves. And they are doing it because they don't want to take any acknowledgement and accountability. That is immaturity, and that is not your fault. You can only have clear what you want to say. Speak it up. Don't let anyone make you feel scared. Don't let anyone make you feel manipulated or like they can, you know, make you feel this small. You're going in there with your head held high, saying everything you want to say, no matter what anyone says, and speaking up for yourself. And that is what I want for you, because you are strong. You are a warrior. You're stronger inside than you think you are. 100%. And it's in you. I just want you to bring it out, because you don't deserve to feel this small. You are born to stand out. You're a superstar and you are amazing. And on that note, I hope you've enjoyed that ramble, that rant of random shiz, and I hope you have the rest of the week that's amazing as you. And you know, I hope you start advocating for yourself. And if you need some big sister love, come and check my channel out. Anyway, hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and ciao for now, Bellas.